Hey everybody, welcome back. We are back to our Quonset Hangar, and we're going to do a little bit of editing and add a texture to it. So remember last time I used this as an example of how to apply some decals. So really the fuel tank is not going to have any rust on it, because they usually maintain fuel tanks so there's no rust. Rust on a fuel tank is not good. So we'll undo that. We'll get rid of that because we're not going to use it. But anyway, we're going to work on these outside walls. This wall here and this wall that's shared between the hangar and the office. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of editing to our model. Also, if you notice, remember our door shed, we have this solid wall right here. All right, and when these doors are open, aircraft can pull inside the hangar, which is obvious, right? Okay, so what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make the opening on this interior wall. Okay, so we're going to cut out the shape that makes that opening in our hangar, and then we'll probably have to do some things to our texturing. Probably have to, I'm not going to solidify these walls, this of the door shed, but we'll probably have to fix our texture a little bit. I'll show you how to do that. And then we're also going to apply our cement block, which we have on this part of the office. We're going to apply that texture to these walls here. Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to do. So first, let's cut. No, let's not cut. I want to see what I need to do to this wall. So let's select this wall. Let's go to edit mode, and let me turn KeyCast on if they're not. Okay, screencaster on. Let's go into edit mode. All right, so we have polygon, polygon select. This one, this one, this one. Hey, first of all, welcome back. I said, appreciate you guys watching these videos. Hopefully you're picking something up. Like I said, I do these relatively live, even though I'm not streaming, I'm recording, but so you can see my thought process as I'm doing my work. If I make a mistake, show you how to get out of that, or try to get out of it. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching these videos. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I mean, that'd be great. Hit the notification bells. And if you guys are inclined, I don't do this for the money, but I appreciate you guys, buying me coffees. It's really sweet that you guys do that. It helps me out a little bit. But buymeacoffee.com/myphysicalworld if you feel inclined. If you don't, that's okay. But thank you for your support. You guys are fantastic. All right, so anyway, back. So I got these outside walls selected. These side walls and this little strip across the top of the door, and the ends are all part of the same object. All right, I want to separate these side walls from the front, because we'll do the front a little bit different. So this wall and this wall are concrete block. Standard width of a concrete block in the United States is 8 inches, which is 0.6 feet. Okay, so we're going to apply some thickness to these walls and then add a texture. But this wall right here and this wall is 2 polygons together, and this wall is 3 polygons together. I want to clean that up because I don't want to have to try to match textures from polygon to polygon because it treats them as individual features. All right. If I applied a brick to this wall, I would have to match the brick across these seams. All right. And I don't want to have to do that. All right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do something. We're going to make this 1 polygon. All right. So I am going to select these walls right here and these walls on the other side, and we're going to make those their own object. We're going to call those outside walls, even though this is a shared wall between the office. All right, so with those polygons selected, hit P for a new selection, select selection, and we get this new object. So we're going to call this outside wall. Outside walls. Is that right? Yep. All right, so now we have that new object. Get out of edit mode and re-enter edit mode with Quonset outside walls selected. Okay, now we are going to make this 1 polygon. Now I could select these polygons. I think, I'm not sure if I can or not, but I'll select this polygon and this polygon and this polygon and right click and dissolve faces. Okay, now the vertices are there. If I did vertice mode, you'll see that the vertices that created the 3 separate polygons are still there. Okay, and I think on this wall that is okay, because when you have these extra vertices, when you go to do your loop cuts, okay, those will interfere with any loop cutting that you do. But to be honest with you, on this wall, we won't have to do any loop cuts because that's 1 solid wall. Okay, there's no doors, no windows, so I think we're going to get away with it on this wall with leaving those vertices there. However, there's another way to do it. If you were intending to do loop cuts later on, you can recreate this wall based on the edges and get rid of these and recreate it where these 2 vertices are no longer there. All right, you can do that, and that would be deleting the faces but leaving the vertices. Delete faces, and well, how would I show you to do that? If I had that selected and hit delete, I would select only edges and faces. All right, and then it would leave the vertices, and then I would select the vertices, delete the vertices I don't need, and then select the vertices that are left and create a face from those. I know that's confusing. I could have done that. All right, but we're not going to do that on this wall because we don't have to make any more loop cuts on this wall. Okay, so it's good this way. However, on this other wall, so let's go to face select, this face and this face. It goes up above our office here, okay, and it's high up over here. All right, now eventually this wall is going to have some loop cuts because there's probably some doors and some interior windows between the office space and the main hangar. So loop cuts in the future will probably be necessary. All right, so we can make this 1 polygon going all the way across. All right, and how we're going to do that is with those 2 polygons selected. Now there's one little thing that I want to do. maybe. And that is, no, we'll take care of that some other time. All right. So let's select those two faces. And I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Let me turn on X-ray mode so I can see where our wall is. So this edge and this edge is the top of the wall, but it's okay, it's below the fascia. There's probably a gutter sitting right here, a drain gutter. This is into our roof here. Okay. Trying to think how I want to do this. Okay, so I'm going to leave those alone because it's only I can do a loop cut. See, I can do loop cuts. Now I can't do a loop cut on this one. So maybe I will put those together. The reason is there's some extra vertices that cause problems doing that. So let me escape out of loop cut. All right, and let's go ahead and delete those polygons, delete, and only edges and faces, and then turn on vertice. So if I do that, I have this extra vertice right here. And trying to think, does that go all the way to the top? I think it does. So we don't need that vertice that I just selected, and we don't need these two in the middle. Okay, so if I delete those vertices, all right, then I should have only one in the corner. Yeah, there's one vertice there, one vertice there, one vertice there. Okay, so there's no duplicates in the corner, so we're good. All right, so I can select these 4 vertices, and I can hit F to add a new face. All right, so that is now one continuous polygon. So if I could do Control R for a loop cut, yeah, I can loop cut that way, and I can loop cut that way. That will come in handy later when we cut in interior doors or interior windows. Okay, now we can, now that's interfering with our fascia, I think. So if I tab out of that, select our roof, okay, our fascia is this thick. Okay, so I want to bring our wall down so it's even with this bottom one, so I don't have any overlapping of polygons right here. So I'm going to hit tab, select our original wall, and let's turn on wireframe. And then I'm going to go into edit mode. Maybe. Yeah, edit mode. Alright. I can't see my vertices. There's 2 vertices. Now turn off wire mode. And we are going to move that down to this point right here. Alright, so we're going to move those, make sure that we have node select snap on. And we are going to GZ down to there. Okay. This curved line is because we have a subsurface modifier applied to it, but we're not concerned about our roof right now. All right, so we dropped our roof down a bit. Let me turn back on shade mode. Okay, So now our roof is, the top of this wall is even with the bottom of it's even with our ceiling. Okay? So that's good enough there. Okay? So we have that. I'm going to pause for a second. I need a break here, get a drink of coffee. Now, our next step is we can apply a solidifier modifier to these two walls. Remember, they're 8 inches thick. So let's get out of let's stay in edit mode. Polygon select. All right, turn off X-ray vision, Superman vision, and let's turn on face orientation. Okay, so this wall is correct. All right, the red is on the inside of the building, and when we apply our solidify modifier, it always goes toward the red side. Okay, but this wall is not correct. It's facing outside of our building. So in edit mode, polygon select the polygon that you want, which is this one. Okay, and Alt N and flip those normals. So now it's facing the inside. So now when we add our solidify, it will solidify toward the inside. All right, so let's turn off our, no, let's leave our face orientation because I want you to see what happens. So let's get out of edit mode and come over here with our outside wall selected. Go to modifiers, go to modifier, solidify modifier. Now it turns blue because now it's solid. It's blue on the outside of our wall, just like that. Okay. And let's add a thickness, which is 0.6, which is 8 inches. Okay, so now we have a wall that is 8 inches thick. Okay, let's go ahead and apply that. Now we can turn off our face orientation. So our two outside walls are solid. Now that we have lines that we can use for construction, we want this wall right here to kind of look like this wall here. So it comes down right here from this point. So let's turn on our front, go into edit mode. All right, so we have our wall comes down right here a little over a foot. So let's turn on vertices snap and measure. So select here, select that vertice and this vertice, and we get 1.15475 feet. So we need to match that on this wall. Okay, so get out of edit mode, select our door shed, tab into edit mode, and let's add from this point right here down a foot and a half. I have 1.15475 feet. So we need a reference line that is the top of this wall. So let's select that. Do a Control R for loop cut and come up and snap to that point there. Okay. And then let's add another loop cut that is 1.15475 feet below this line. So Control R loop cut, select, drag up till that matches, and then GZ minus 1.15475. Okay, so now we have that. Now we We have a little bump wall here, which is good, and we have a little bump wall here that's good. So let's go polygon select, select this, and delete our faces. So now the doors are open to the inside of our hangar. Okay, now remember I was talking about fixing some textures. Notice how right here we're transparent. Okay, that's because this is a PBR texture applied to our outside face right here, this wall right here. And since the normals are pointing out, the PBR texture gets applied to that direction. But I'm going to select this polygon, focus on it. So, alright, with the period on the number pad. Now, since that's a PBR texture, it gets applied outside to the outside. Now, you could solidify this wall and put the texture on the inside, okay? But that adds unnecessary vertices and polygons, okay? And we want to try to minimize that as we're making our models so they perform better in the sim, which is related to the levels of detail that I was talking about in the previous video, okay? But there's another way, is that we can come into the materials for this wall, okay? So since we are on that object, go to the materials, make sure that you're on the object, and come down to the MSFS standard materials, and keep on going down until you find double-sided, and click it. Now that texture is applied to both sides of the face. Okay, so it's kind of like you did a solidify, but it's not really a object solidification. It's just that you applied the texture to both sides of the face. So it makes it look like it's solid. Okay, so we fix that. Alright, so let's tab out of edit mode and see where we're at. Okay, so we're a little better. So now if I open up these hangar doors, you can drive your aircraft into the hangar. Okay, and we'll apply textures to the doors in the next video. Alright, so let's apply our textures to these two outside walls. Now, I'm going to go to X-ray, and I'm going to go to polygons. Oh, I'm going to go into edit mode first. Alright, so we have a polygon at the end of our wall that's going to interfere with this face right here. And what we want to do is select those, and we want to delete those faces so we don't have that interference. At this time, you can do some other cleanup. You also don't need the polygons that are on the ground, because you're never going to see those. And you're also really never going to see the ones that are at the top of the wall. So we can remove those as well. Okay. And we can also get rid of these ends. So really we're only having the outside face and the inside face. Alright, I'm going to leave these because this is a transition into the room. So we're removing our edge, our outside edge polygons of our walls. Okay, because you're never going to see them in the scenery anyway, right? So hit delete, delete faces. So that's a little cleaner, less polygons to have to deal with. Alright. Now, let me pause for a second. Okay, one more little cleanup is now this edge right here is the interior of this wall. Okay. Let me edge select so I can focus on that. So I'll select that edge, hit period on the number pad to focus. Alright, let's go inside. Now, this edge right here is going to be even with, let me turn lines on for a second. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so this edge right here is going to be even with this edge right here. So this edge right here and the corresponding edge on the other side, which is this one, all right, we can move those in the Y direction, all right, to be even with this wall right here. So let's do edge snap, okay, and let's move those in the, let's move these edges, and this is the interior of the wall, not the exterior. So let's move those in the Y, G, Y, and move those in. So it's like that. You with me? Okay. So there's no interference, because we're going to come back probably in the next video when we work on this wall, is we're going to add a face that makes a corner of that wall, and it's not concrete block. Okay. It's made out of the siding material. Okay. So we move that back a little bit. Okay, we don't need, I don't think we need to do it on the other end. Yeah, we don't need to do it on the other end. All right. Okay, so we move those back, and then the edge of that interior wall no longer interferes with the outside of this wall. Okay, so we got that fixed. So let's go back into shade mode here. Now, let's get out of edit mode, make sure we're good with our scale, which is 1. Okay, and let's come over here, and let's zoom into that spot right here. Now let's add our concrete masonry, this texture to these walls. So let's go into UV editing. The glass block was the last thing I did, so I don't need those, so get rid of that. All right, in the right side, hit A to select all the polygons, period, on the number pad to focus in on those polygons, okay? And there we go. This is the corner where these two walls meet. So let's go to UV, Smart UV Project, turn off stretch, click OK. So now we have them shown up here. All right. So hit A on this side to select all the polygons. Rotate those 90 degrees. And if you want to, you can move them in the X direction to get them better. Let's turn off our snap. GX. Move those. Doesn't matter because we're going to scale it here now anyway. All right, now let's go get this texture, which we called CMU, I believe. So come over here. There's CMU at the top. And the scale is different. Okay, so we're going to come over here in the UV half of our screen, hit S to scale, and we're just going to scale those out until they start matching as close as we can. All right, so I'm still too big there. It's pretty close. Pretty close. It's not going to be perfect, but for Flight Sim, it will be close enough, I think. There we go. All right. Close enough. There is a tool out there. There is another set of software. It's called Trexel. And you can have... Trexel allows you to take, for instance, two objects that share the same texture. And you can tell it what scale that you want the texture to be applied to both. So you don't have to guess. All right. Now, I don't use Trexel, but you can. So if you guys want to learn about Trexel and scaling textures for multiple objects, check that out. Okay, but there is a tool out there that actually helps you do that. All right, but for what we're doing today, we're not going to get into it. So there we just applied our concrete block to our main hangar walls. Okay, and by eliminating the faces, we didn't have to match. Sorry, we didn't have to match this polygon, and this polygon to get those to go across. We actually made this one polygon. All right, so it makes the textures apply better. All right, so that's our lesson for the day. Okay, so practice with that. Next time we're going to come back and we're going to do some texturing to our doors, and we're going to finish putting our window texture on the north side of the hangar. All right, so it's coming along. We'll also work on the roof, because the roof now looks like a big slab of marble in a way. Really, really shiny and glassy, and I don't like that look. So we're gonna splotch this up a little bit and make it more realistic. Okay, and we'll apply textures to this roof and this black rubber membrane roof on our annex over here. All right, so be sure to join us next time when we continue on our adding textures to our Quonset Hangar. And for now, you guys have a great day, and we will see you on the next video. See you guys later.